The morning has been taken up with the prosecution finishing their final arguments. It all seems to hinge on, for both teams, whether Oscar Pistorius is going to flee the country if he is given bail. The prosecution very definitely thinks he is, in their words, a flight risk. The investigating officer, police officer, that was the main point that he made when he gave evidence, and the prosecuting counsel has been talking about that today, saying it's not right to say just because he's famous he will stay here, and that he's too famous he couldn't travel the world without being recognised. He said he gave the example of Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks reporter who has taken refuge in an embassy in London. He said he's just as famous and just as recognisable as Oscar Pistorius, and yet he's managed to take refuge in this embassy and nobody can get at him there. He also went on to suggest that Oscar Pistorius had the money, the means, and at least if he didn't own a house abroad, he had access to a house in Italy, and that Oscar Pistorius could even change, with his money and his assets, could even change his face to try and avoid recognition. Now, the defence, who had the final say before the magistrate went out, actually rubbished this, saying how could someone like Oscar Pistorius actually disguise himself when he has no legs? How every time he goes through an airport he causes a big commotion because of his prosthesis. It was just impossible. He would also have to have his legs needed regular maintenance, at least monthly, he went on to say. So he said he had 2 South African passports. He was suggesting that he would be prepared to give up the passports, and he loved South Africa so much, plus he was the type of person who was going to see through this trial. He was convinced, and he was trying to convince the court, that Oscar Pistorius would not try to abscond.